Good morning, dear children. Welcome back to another enriching session of storytelling. Today, we are doing lesson 5, A Different Kind of School, from your HoneySuckle book. We will complete this chapter in 2 videos. So let's start without wasting much time. A Different Kind of School. This story was written by E.V. Lucas. His full name was Edward Verrill Lucas. He was born in 1868 in London. He was an English humorist, essayist, poet, biographer, short story writer, publisher, and editor. This story is about a school which has a different methodology of teaching children. The school focuses more on value building, inculcating a positive attitude towards the weaker section or specially abled people in the society. The school develops in its students empathy towards the disabled by giving them an experience. What all these disabled children or people have to face in their day-to-day life through different games. This lesson is a message about how doing simple things can make learning more interesting and easier. Learning by doing is the best way to learn different things. The school focuses more on developing or shaping a generation that is more responsible and aware citizens. To know about this, let's read the lesson. Before we start the chapter, let's find out the meaning of some of the words like bandage. Bandage is actually a piece of woven material used to bind up a wound or to protect an injured part of the body. Crutch. It's a long piece of stick used as support by lame people, those people who cannot walk properly. Cripple. Someone who becomes unable to walk or move properly. That is, some person who has problem with his leg as it's not able to walk properly. Honor means high respect. Misfortune, bad luck. System is basically set of rules and regulations based on which any system or society works. Okay, now let's find out what way this school is different from other schools. Now let's start reading the chapter. A different kind of school. You can see the picture here. And if you can find out something from this picture, you can see a girl whose eyes are tied up with a piece of cloth. She is blindfolded. And you can see a happy child here who is guiding this girl. Now let's start reading. I had heard a great deal about Miss Beam's school, but not till last week did the chance come to visit it. So here I stands for the author E.V. Lucas. He has heard about the school, a school with difference. And the school is owned and run by Miss Beam. Okay, so this author has heard a lot about Miss Beam's school, but he only experienced it or was able to explore what the difference in the school is only till last week when he got a chance to visit that school. When I arrived there was no one in the sight but a girl of about 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage. Now, when he arrived here, there was no one in particular in sight. In sight means to be seen, but only a girl, and she was of 12 years. This girl was 12 years old, and her eyes were covered with a bandage. Means maybe the child is having some problem in her eyes, and her eyes were bandaged. And she was being led carefully between the flower beds by a little boy who was about 4 years younger. And this girl was being supported, being guided by a little boy, and he seemed 4 years younger than that girl. The girl is of 12 years, maybe that boy is around 8 years. Okay, now, and he was carefully leading that girl between the flower beds. What is flower beds? You can see here, flower beds are actually rows of flowers here planted in rows. Flowers planted in rows is called flower bed. She stopped, and it looked like she asked him who had come. Though she was blindfolded, still she sensed that somebody has come and someone is observing them. So she just stopped there and she asked the boy that who has come. It looked like that she asked. He seemed to be describing me to her. Then they passed on. And it looked like that the small boy who was guiding the girl, was describing about the person who had come and was standing there and observing them. And after the explanation, they just passed on. They moved ahead. Miss Beam was all that I had expected. All that I had expected. See, children, when we hear about someone whom we haven't seen ever in our life, we try to make a picture of that person in our minds, right? That person would be tall or short or heavy or fat or thin. Like that, we would be having some kind of imaginary picture of that person in our mind. So same E.V. Lucas, the author of this chapter, also had a picture of Miss Beam in his mind. And after seeing her, he was like, she looks just as I expected her to be. Middle-aged. Middle-aged means around 40s. Full of authority, full of command, full of command. Yet kindly. Kindly means friendly and understanding. So this lady was of middle age, she was full of authority, or she was very dominating, but at the same time she was very kindly, friendly and understanding. Her hair was beginning to turn grey. Her hair was turning little grey, and she had the kind of plump figure that is likely to be comforting to a homesick child. So her figure was like, she was not thin and lean. She was little bit stout, means short, and little heavy, little fat. But it was like pleasant. Though she was fat, but she was pleasant looking, and it looked like she was very soothing to the children who were homesick. What is the meaning of homesick? Like when you go to school or some other place, you want to go back home. You long to go back home. You miss your home and parents badly. That is homesick. So, the small children who get admission recently in the school, like in lower KG, if you can recall your time in KG, it would be like you always want to go to your mother. You start crying and all. That is homesickness. So, here also some children would be homesick, those who are newly admitted to the school, those who are very young. So to them she is very comforting, is what the author guessed. I asked her some questions about her teaching methods, which I had heard were simple. So, out of curiosity, this author asked Miss Beam few questions, and she was answering this way. No more than is needed to help them to learn how to do things. Simple spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and writing. She said that our school follows a simple method of teaching them spellings, adding, subtraction, multiplication, and writing. The rest is done by reading to them and by interesting talks, during which they have to sit still and keep their hands quiet. There are practically no other lessons. So besides this addition, spelling, subtraction, multiplication and writing, other things are taught to them by reading. During that time, they have to sit quiet, still, without moving their hands. Okay, besides that, There were no other practical lessons. The real aim of this school is not so much to teach thought as to teach thoughtfulness, kindness to others, and being responsible citizens. Look out of the window a minute, will you? So, what she said, the aim of a school is not much into teaching them thought, that what is gravitational force, what is high tide, low tide, and all these things. It's not teaching them thought. It is to teach them to be thoughtful, to be kind to others, and to become responsible students, responsible citizens of tomorrow. And she asked the author to just look out of the window. I went to the window, which overlooked a large garden and a playground at the back. What do you see? Miss Beam asked. So when he reached the window and he looked out, he saw a large garden and there were playgrounds at the back. So Miss Beam is asking, what did you see there? What do you see? What you can see through the window? I see some beautiful grounds, I said, and a lot of jolly children. So, what I said, I can see beautiful grounds, and besides that, I can see many happy children. It pains me, though, to see that they are not all so healthy and active looking. But then he said, though I can see jolly, happy children, but something pains, something hurts me is that all the students of your school are not very healthy. They are not active looking. They have some sort of problem. When I came in, I saw one poor little girl being led about. She has some problem with the eyes. So he just narrated the incidents that he saw when he entered the school. He saw a girl was blindfolded. She was her eyes were tied with bandage, and another boy was leading her way. So he thought, according to him, she had some trouble with her eyes. Now I can see two more the same difficulty. Now he's saying, I can now see two more children having the same problem. They are also blindfolded. Their eyes, they also have some problem with their eyes. And there's a little girl with a crutch watching the others at play. And besides that, I can see one small girl who is with a crutch, that is a support stick to walk. She has some problem with her leg, so she cannot play. She is very sadly seeing the children play. She seems to be hopeless cripple. Okay, what is the meaning of hopeless? Unfortunate or without hope. So this all sides pains me, hurts me. Miss Beam laughed. Oh no, she said. She is not really lame. This is only her lame day. So, by hearing the author, Miss Beam just laughed and she said, actually, she is not lame. It is only her lame day. The others are not blind either. It is only their blind day. Now, what is this lame day? What is this blind day? So, this author was totally in confusion. He was confused. What is all this? I must have looked very surprised, for she laughed again. So there was a total surprise on the author's Evie Lucas face, by saying which the lady, Miss Beam, laughed again. This is not, this is a very important part of a system. So this all kind of lame day, dumb day, deaf day, cripple day, all this is very important part of our system, said Miss Beam. To make our children appreciate and understand misfortune, we make them share in misfortune too. See, until and unless you don't experience something, you cannot understand what actually the thing is. So here, what the school, by this you can make out what the school is actually doing. They are giving some experience to the children, some experience of the misfortune, some experience of the children who face the hardships of the life. And with this, they want their children to learn, understand, And after the experience, your outlook about that particular person will change. Okay, this is what they want to give. So this is very important part of a system to make our children appreciate and understand misfortune. What is misfortune? Unfortunate condition or bad luck. We make them share in the misfortune too. Each term, every child has one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. So what she is telling, every term, every year, every child, each and every child has to undergo this. Each and every child has to share in the misfortune. So they observe one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. Okay. During the blind day, their eyes are bandaged. Absolutely. So during blind day, what they do, their eyes are closed, they tie their eyes, they are blindfolded, and they are on their honor not to peep. Now, what is on their honor? Have promised that these children have promised that they will not do cheating, they will not peep. Okay, they will not, even though they'll have the temptation to see around what's happening, still they will not peep. The bandage is put on overnight, so they wake up blind. So, what is done when they go to sleep, that time itself, the bandage is put around their eyes. So, as soon as they get up from the work one, as soon as they get up, they need help and support of others. This means that they need help with everything. Other children are given the duty of helping them and leading them about. So, these children will need some help, and other children are given the duty of helping them out with everything. They all learn so much this way, both the blind and the helper. And Miss Beam said, in both the ways, both the children are learning. The one who is taking share of the misfortune, and the one who is guiding this misfortune day child. Okay, the child uh, who is taking her deaf day or lame day or dumb day, whatever. The other one who is helping is learning to be patient, is learning to share, and is learning to explain things to the one who is the sufferer. So, children, the school is like a concept school. They give the students more of life experience and practical based education to grow them into responsible children. Okay, read the chapter till here. We'll continue in the next video. Thank you.